I'm going to turn to Steven for opening review of Chronicle.
Well, I really enjoyed this movie, and I was also really disappointed. I love these kind of, hand camera movies, and Blair, I mean, starting with
you
Blair
tried to make
Witch
us go see Apollo 18.
Yeah,
and you're
Apollo
like,
18.
No, it's about rocks that kill people. It's dumb.
Well, I bought it. Actually, I have it now, so I haven't watched it yet. But I'm really
sorry if I just gave it away. It's about rocks that kill people.
You mean like The Happening?
Yeah.
I
it's
really
happening in space. You're not going to like it.
Happening was awesome.
You just said that.
I really enjoy these kind of movies. I think that District 9 is sort of the pinnacle of this style, where they don't tie themselves to the documentary style. You know what I love about you? Haven't got your review, but whatever. You know what
I love about District 9 is it doesn't have this character that has to carry around the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the biggest thing that annoys me about these is that all of a sudden the guy just becomes a little contrived because you have to have this guy who he's like, I just like carrying around a camera. I'm going to document everything in my life now.
Yeah.
It's,
It fell short and ran half the movie that way. And then when somebody else finally came in, okay, there's somebody else carrying a camera.
And she was also a character who just carries around a camera for my blog. And I'm like, I hate that. Like, just have a camera following you. Just do like The Office or Parks and Rec. There's a documentary crew.
Yeah, exactly. Or, I mean, or invent some reason that's more than just, I want to carry a camera now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can come up, that's what District 9 did so well. There was a reason for it. And when there wasn't a reason for it, they didn't worry about it. They're like, okay, we're going to switch into movie mode now.
Well, by the time they get their superpowers, there's a reason for it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like they're trying to document them doing cool stuff. And it feels like YouTube generation-y.
But even then, I felt like it was completely unnecessary to the story. Like, there was no reason for there to be the documentary camera style. I mean, I don't think it added anything to the movie at all.
I think it helped in the beginning, though, giving you the point of view of the one guy who ultimately turns out
to be the bad guy.
Right, can't handle it. And I think it helps you buy into his story and not feel as bad for him for being such a douche for doing all that bad stuff.
Because
I think a
the main
good
reason
director could have accomplished that without...
The main reason he buys it, at least is at the beginning, is because it opens up on a really intense scene. It's his drunk father coming in.
Thanks, Brian.
Coming into his room.
Okay for kids, yeah.
To try and beat him up. You know what I mean? And that seems to be like, I get the sense like he's getting the camera in some ways to like protect himself.
Yeah.
You know, like he tells his dad like, I'm going to film everything now. Yeah. And then takes that literally.
But I don't think they drew that out long enough to make you believe that, this is why the camera's always going to be there. Because they spent 10, 15 minutes on that, maybe, not even. And then all of a sudden it's just him going around high school getting his ass kicked.
It becomes a really nice... Yeah, why he's carrying around while bullies are beating him up, that's the issue. But it becomes what I liked is that at the end... The ending where his friend leaves it looking at Tibet.
It becomes
it becomes him.
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice. And it gives for some really cool like camera angles because he can like actually move it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it allows you to do like some floating stuff but it does at times it feels gimmicky, at times it works. But other than that, I know you haven't reviewed it yet, but we're not going to mention this entire time.
I want to say, other than that, I love this movie. Yeah. That was my only complaint. Everything else about it was amazing. Their take on the superhero is unlike anything I've seen. There was no good guy. Yeah. There was no good guy in this. There was the guy who turns bad,
and the guy stopping him.
The guy that stops him because
he has to.
He has to, not because he wants to.
Yeah.
I mean, their idea of what to do with this is to pull pranks on people. This seems so realistic of what would happen if teenagers got superpowers.
And their pranks are funny.
They're hilarious.
And we're going to turn to Kevin to open us up for The Woman in Black.
I was looking forward to it being his first extension into non-Harry Potter films. I liked the Harry Potter series. I'm not a big reader, so it helped that they made the movies. So I was really interested to see this because he's done other things, not, full-length features, but he's done TV movies, he's done Broadway.
Yeah.
So I was interested to see how much he developed since then. You could still see he's got room to grow. He's got room to improve, but I think he did a really good job. He had a real good supporting cast.
Yeah. Ciarán Hinds and Janet McTeer.
Yeah.
Very good there. The storyline, I liked it, went real well. I did have some trouble at first trying to figure out, I think he's a lawyer. somebody died. He's going there. It was kind of gray to see why he has to go
there. But that's not the story. The story is the classic ghost story.
Right.
You have to go and calm this angry ghost.
Right. And you get to see him figure out, okay, why is this happening? The typical, okay, where is the danger coming from? How do I solve it?
We know where it's coming from. He's got to go get the body, and he's got to unite the two bodies. It's as simple as that. This isn't that hard. I don't know why he couldn't figure that out quicker.
It was cool to see when that happened, though, that didn't solve everything right away.
Yeah.
Or it didn't solve anything at all.
That's true.
Yeah.
In the end, at all, it didn't. Yeah.
It solves nothing. It just means he rolled through the muck and pulled his skeleton out of it.
It means that Nanny needs to find a new job.
Yeah.
Standing there going, oh, there goes my boss. But I have to say, honestly, I'm glad that he was in it. And part of the reason I went was to see his performance.
Yeah.
Because as a horror film, it was scary, but not really suspenseful, making me jump out of my seat scary.
See,
I must be a coward.
I gotta pick out one scene first, though, where he's standing at the window and he sees the boy first come out of the marsh.
Yeah.
And is walking towards, and you see him approach the window. He's looking out, and it's kind of getting you on edge because you know something's going to happen. And then he backs up, and the handprint shows up on the window. And then the split second he touches his hand to the window.
Oh, his face changes.
Well, they show you the reflection in the glass. And it's this thing that screams at you for 2 seconds. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys have gotten that email.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I'm going, oh, yeah, I got that email. And it's the same thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, okay, it's scary, it's good, but that kind of right there, that sent it downhill from a scary movie point of view.
That's interesting.
Woman in Black or Chronicle?
Wow. Oh, that's good. I have to say Chronicle.
Yeah.
This is tough. Well...
Not only to make it interesting, but I would go Woman in Black.
Shit, you asshole.
Because I think it's maybe it's not rare, but it's so much harder to do a really good horror.
Yeah.
And yet, and I think we've had a lot of good superhero movies, and
that's not. I wouldn't qualify Chronicle as a superhero movie.
Really?
Yeah. No.
It is though.
I think it's a different take on it. Just like District 9 is a different take on sci-fi movies.
And, but
it's tough. These movies are so even for me.
But I think Chronicle did a better job of presenting you with a new angle on an old story. Whereas Woman in Black took a ghost story and put it in a different setting. You know, put it in okay, now it's in England. In the moor or in the marsh.
But it's like it's like I hadn't had that good ghost story in so long. Like, honestly, the last really good ghost story I'd seen, I think, was The Orphanage. Paranormal Activity is just something, like, it just scares me. I don't want to think about it. So, like...
This is the problem, I think. I think Woman in Black is a excellent example of its genre. It doesn't do anything beyond its genre. It doesn't try to do anything beyond its genre. It's just a really good... Yeah. It's sort of a solid example of its genre. It's, it's Dickens.
Yeah.
I mean, all his novels, there's nothing, like, really grand about them. They're just amazing examples of what they are. You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean, though. He's not doing anything experimental. He's just... No. I mean, he is, but not, overtly. Whereas Chronicle is Joyce, where you've never seen anything like it. It's doing something completely new, and yes, it fails in some places.
I don't like Joyce, so this is a bad argument.
Well, it's doing something, or Eliot, or pick someone you like that's doing. Hemingway. Hemingway's doing something.
Okay.
Nobody's ever done before.
Sure.
And it does it. It fails a little bit, but it's incredible. It's still really good. Right. So they're two completely different sides of that.
Right. When you walked out of the theater, though, which one did you enjoy better?
It's hard to say. I mean, I immediately...
That's really tough.
My first thought was, I need to tell people about Woman in Black. Yeah. I tweeted it right away. This is... I was like, people need to see this so it does well, so that way they know that these movies should be made. That was my first thought. From that point of view, I would like to see more...
But when you tell them to make these movies, they do a bad job.
That's true.
And they don't make good horror movies. When you just ask for more horror movies, Hollywood just gives you slashers.